taking the time to get to know Aina, I think, is the first step in being a productive and successful farmer. I feel super blessed that we have an opportunity to cultivate a relationship with Aina, to reestablish a relationship with our traditional cultural foods, to rebuild a food system that is highly productive, because we come from a heritage rich in agriculture and rich in food supply. We actually started growing kalo just for our family. We thought it important that we are serving healthful foods, spiritually relevant foods, and culturally important foods to provide nutrition to our babies. And so all of the kalo that we share with Homana is grown with the same love and care that we grow for our own babies. It's a best case scenario for us, for our kalo to be served to Hawaiian keiki. We don't use any chemical pesticides. We use chicken manure and goat manure, and all of those things feed the soil and the Aina. And so those are the chemical nutrients that the kalo is growing on, but it's also being fed by our family's laughter and singing and pule before, during, and after cultivation. So all of those things are being put into the mahi, or the farming and the growing of the kalo. We really appreciate a supportive and understanding buyer that understands the labor and the intensive way that we grow kalo. As a small family farm, we sometimes have a hard time competing in the marketplace because we can't supply the volume or with consistency. And so to have a buyer that understands that we do the best that we can to grow the kalo in a mindful way that is close to Aina, with organic, natural, and traditional practices to supply the best quality kalo to make the best quality poi, it makes a big difference to us that we feel supported, that there's a buyer ready and willing to take what we produce. The intention when we started our farm was to have poi be a part of our diet. Not only is it one of the most nutritious foods that you could find on the planet, it is one of the most culturally important foods for us to eat. And I think for me, and as many generations that I can count backwards, poi has been our first food. And so maybe not all of the keiki have that opportunity, but I would really like to play a part in making sure that they have a taste for poi. And so in order to do that, we need to grow more kalo.
One thing I learned about in sustainability is we had to be resourceful, and part of that is leaning into your community, right? And we saw that there were so many people that had good intentions, that wanted to be part of the food system, that want to see this community succeed. And so how can we help those people? How do we integrate those people back into the food system? So that's why we started CGC, and it's really built on sustainable and regenerative practices. We started out harvesting produce from people's backyards and then getting that out into the community. We help agricultural lots plan and install orchards, help maintain them, harvest them, distribute them, and then collect the data so that we can design a food system based on the community's needs, where the profits stay in the community and the food stays in the community. It helps with food waste, education, and getting nutritious, locally produced food into the community. When we have people sign up for harvest, they're actually given a choice on whether they would like to sell or donate. There's a lot of people that know that it's going to the schools. So I hope when we bring in produce that students enjoy it and that they're happy that it's grown here. We just want them to enjoy and develop a palate for what's in season and readily available currently. Working with Kamehameha schools, we're thankful for all the support they've given us, and they're willing to pay for it. And it helps support our mission too, and helps make sure that our organization has a little bit of lift to lift other people up, which is really important. I want kids not to think of ag as just farming. I want them to think of it as endless possibilities to build up their community. The more we support each other, working hard, trying to feed and nourish people, the better our community gets as a whole. Being part of the agricultural system is not a difficult thing to do. You don't have to be a full-time farmer. You can plant some things at home and eat that, and you can share that. We're all part of the agricultural system, and anybody can grow food.
Having an animal that produces food for people is a different feeling. When I started, I wanted to be a very small dairy because I think there should be more small farms. You definitely can control your food better. Being able to know the goats and their personalities and then know how that's going to affect the foods Their health and longevity is extremely important because they're going to be producing milk. I'm more a grass farmer than I am a goat farmer because that's their food. And so I'm more worried about how to keep my pastures healthy because that's going to keep my goats healthier. The goats eat down invasive species and now it's just all gone. In turn, I think that does help the land. I won't be here forever. I want this land to be productive for a long time. Before we got to the partnership with Kamehameha Schools, I definitely relied on the tourism coming, buying their caramel that's made here and taking it home. And I really felt I had to have that balance. If I'm not feeding the community first, then I can't be feeding the tourists. I have to start here. I had to have that balance. And it finally feels like a good connection. The skyr, it's such a healthy food. It's high in protein and it has full probiotics. And since it's like a yogurt, it's versatile. It's from goat, so it's easy to digest. When you're eating locally, similar to a lot of other foods that the kids they're eating that's grown and produced on Maui, they're eating liquid sunshine. Like that is the water that the goats drank is in their milk, which made the skyr. And the grass that they ate was grown from the sun here and watered by the rain here. The kids can be more connected to Maui. It's all connected in that way. When they're eating our skyr, I hope the kids know that I like what I do, the goats and the farm and producing food. The happiness that I have for what I'm doing, the positive feelings is going into the skyr and creating energetic nutrients that you wouldn't think about it, but that actually are in there. To have that going into a school food program to be impacting so many kids has been definitely a highlight. And so it makes me so happy to see them eating it.
Kamehameha Schools is integrating local produce into their cafeteria meals in different innovative ways, securing local produce, making sure that there's enough volume to supply the students, and then planning meals. It's so forward thinking and ahead of the curve. It's really phenomenal.